Okay, started recording. Hi, this is Neil Caden, and this is the Sakai Morpheus Responsive Design Weekly Check-in on November 11th, 2015. So yeah, let's figure out what sign in, figure out our agenda. I think one thing. Let me go ahead and sign in too. I think talking a little bit about the skin contest and the results of that, and the next steps. For that would be good. Maybe checking the JIRA filter to see if any new issues are in, or take if there's any updates and status. Oh, and of course, and this maybe go first, the Morpheus tool by tool status would make sense to do, I think. Thank you for the link. Let's see. Anything else? What do you guys? What else do you all think would be good to put on here, if anything? All right. Well, we'll get started. But if you have any ideas of something you think would be useful to discuss, feel free to put it on the Etherpad. So let's start with a skin contest. We had we had some good results. We ended up having 4 submissions, and we had a 5th submission from after the contest was over. And I would say we had pretty good ideas that came out of the 5, probably 4 out of the 5. We had some good ideas we might want to consider. And what I was thinking, and I may have mentioned this, and I apologize if I haven't done it yet, but I was thinking it would make sense to do 2 things. One is to make the skin contest contents available to both the Sakai core team and the folks on the Morpheus team. And I'm also thinking that might want to have a doodle. We might want to set up a meeting, at least one meeting, to maybe you need 2. I'm not sure, to review the issues and figure out what we want to get into Sakai 11, or think we want to get into Sakai 11, and what things we might want to get into post Sakai 11, either a maintenance release or Sakai 12, and which things we may, maybe we don't want to do, or maybe they inspire other ideas. So we kind of need to lock down the scope of Sakai 11. So it'd be great to take advantage of some of the ideas from the skin contest and make Morpheus even better. But at the same time, we need to start kind of figuring that we need to close down the scope of it. And in terms of the main thing we're waiting on is Gradebook NG, and I'm very hopeful that that will get merged in next week. It's mostly waiting on deciding whether to use GitHub issues or JIRA for issue tracking, specifically for the Gradebook NG project. And I think we're close to a decision on that. So once we make that decision as a group, the Sakai core team, then there shouldn't be any other, there's no other issues that I know of that would prevent, sorry for the background noise there. There's no other issues that I know of that would prevent the Gradebook NG team from merging into master. I think we'll be good to go. And so with that, hopefully really, really imminent, then we really need to think about, getting our scope well defined so that we can come up with a good schedule. So I'll shut up for a second here and see if other people have comments. And also, Wilma had some cool ideas, which I'll mention, about how we could share if you like that idea of sharing. Let's see. Her ideas for sharing are, I could just give her a list of folks in this call, but there's a few other people I think are also interested, other than the people just in this call this day, who would be interested in getting access. So I can get a list of emails from the Morpheus people I think are interested in Morpheus, people I'm pretty active in Sakai core team, and we could just add them to the Sakai, the virtual conference site. Well, it's actually not technically the virtual conference site, the Try Sakai site, and it has a separate one for the skin, so I could have everyone there. Or we could just make that site in Try Sakai joinable, and if you have Try Sakai accounts, you could log in, or you could create a Try Sakai account for free and log in, create one, log in, and add yourself to the group. I think that sounds kind of cool in a way, because it makes it open. Or we could put the submission content somewhere else, like a Google Drive or something like that, or some other place where everyone can access. So yeah, now I'll shut up and see what you all think about that and what the next step should be.
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Yeah. So we were discussing this morning about what the next steps could be. Yes, as Neil is saying right now, I think that a good idea is to share that with with more people, so that people are aware of the different submissions and the different functionality that was available on those submissions. Yeah, that would be awesome to get some feedback. And also, Edu was thinking about, he actually sent an email to some people that were on a previous Morpheus thread, like email thread. And there was some discussion about in that thread from Edu and Juanjo about trying to merge some of the best features that were showcased in those skins from the Sakai Virtual Conference. So Edu put up together a document this morning that is like somehow a summary of that email thread, and that's the link that he just pasted on the Etherpad, and it's a public link from our OAE tenant. Yeah, if people can take a look to it, he kind of summarized different things that I believe, and he's here and he can correct me, that they will be not too hard to implement in the current Morpheus skin, and somehow it could be done for the 11 release. So, yep. I don't know if can people see the document?
I'm going to paste it in the chat.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Edu. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe Edu want to explain a bit more of that, or the different. He somehow got the best things, or the things that he liked the most from every submission.
Yeah, I just summarize a little what I've seen that in the contest were the most different things in every skin. Do you know if I don't know if UNC Chapel Hill has a CSS or it's just Photoshop? I don't know. I know Alex is functional and ours is functional. Alex from Jada. And this I've tried to summarize a little all the things we think we can add to. Okay, perfect. Thanks, Neil. Well, we have summarized a little what I think we can add to the actual skin Morpheus skin. I don't know if the vertical menu would work on every university, but I think it would be nice if we can mix more sites with this sites menu. So we have just one simple sites menu and with 3 tabs. But Juanjo Meroño has told me that the started site, the favorite sites, I don't know. We don't know if it would be easy or not. We need to take a look more deeply, so we can watch what would the stars do exactly. If just reorder site, or store in the database what site for what users or something like that. And we were been thinking that maybe beyond Sakai 11, the site menu itself could be the place where we can reorder all the sites instead of preferences and remove a site and archive it, or maybe make it favorite or not. But I think if we want to do a release candidate, it would be beyond Sakai 11. I've seen too that in New York University the Flutter design was what community liked in last Sakai meeting too. So I liked to modify our buttons and create a Flutter design with UNC Chapel color scheme. That I love it. And the only problem I see with the background, like UNC have done, is we need to focus for the contrast of the typography with the background. So the ally will be good. The contrast with the typography in the background and that. And if anyone have seen anything else in the schemes and like it, they can tell us and we can try to put it on.
Thanks, Ed.
Well, yeah, I hear what you're saying about the accessibility. I hadn't thought about that for the background. You know, as I chatted, I did make a request this morning from UNC to see if they can provide us the CSS. And if you know for sure it's not accessible, as I didn't know that backgrounds were an issue in accessibility, I wouldn't have guessed as terms of like the edges and the, I could imagine like a background for text and the contrast being an accessible issue. But I didn't realize that just like a decorative border, I didn't know that would necessarily be an accessible issue.
I've been watching last days, and the website UI gradients. So if we see the contrast is not enough with the background, we can check a lot of gradients in CSS. Cool. And if I can, I don't know if I can yet, and make it in Morphin Master like a gem of Rabbit. Every institution could choose all these gradients for their own. If they like inbox or blush or green and blue, and they could change it. Maybe not for Morpheus default, but for every customization, they could try. Maybe choose one for Sakai and
right. Obviously, people can change. I think that, I think all we have responsibility for is two things. What does it look like out of the box when people first install it? And the second thing, and we do want it to be accessible because we're making a big commitment to accessibility. So I agree, that's a really important consideration because we don't want to have this huge effort on accessibility and then do something that's not accessible. So I could always, I think that's a very important consideration, and then providing the documentation, which I think is in good shape. Is that right? The documentation on how institutions can change it on their own. And if we provide those two things, a really good experience out of the box, and how they can change it on their own, and maybe a few examples would be nice too. If that's not, because it seems like we may already have accumulated some examples from all the work that you all have done, and that Uday also did, and so if we had some examples of, here's examples of what you can do. You can make it look like this, or you can make it look like this. Maybe it's just screenshots, or maybe it's some screenshots.
A little mock-up, a screenshot, or with Photoshop, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think that would be sufficient. Maybe just say, and this is what the CSS looks like if you want this one. Here's kind of what the CSS, so it gets people's creativity going where they can think, oh, this is Sakai out of the box. That looks really, really cool. And oh, look what we can do. And it just requires either us putting in, there's good documentation and some really interesting ideas we can explore, and they can either do it themselves or maybe engage with their commercial affiliates, because if they know it's a relatively well-documented thing, it shouldn't cost them a lot of time for their own people to do it, or to use a commercial affiliate. So so that, I think that would be really cool if we provided that. Does anyone have a preference in terms of how to make all these different options from the Sakai Skin Contest more public? I'm happy to make a decision, or talk with Wilma, make a decision from her list of ideas, but if you had any preferences, that would be nice to know. And also whether you think we need a separate meeting. And I also think it would be good to invite the folks, just as optionally, the folks maybe who participated on the skid judging panel, which is some overlap, right? Because Wilma was on that, I was at least ex officio, Dr. Chuck was on that, and we all are involved in these discussions. There was also Earl Neitzel, who is a Sakai core team member and is with Longsight and used to be with Scriba, and there was several other people, Dee Dee from Marist, and there was, who else? The guy from, who does a lot of user interface work. I can't remember his name, Sam Peck, that's right. Thank you, Sam Peck, and Diego, who you all I'm sure know really well. So there was other people on there as well. So I wonder, so what I was thinking is, I wonder if we should, so I can think of a couple ways. One way is that this group could come up with a proposal. I think it would be great to run it by Dr. Chuck first and get him engaged. Although Wednesdays I don't think are so good for him anymore to meet, but maybe we can have a meeting with Dr. Chuck, or make it more of an open meeting so that like Sakai core team members could attend as well. And maybe what we do is come up with a proposal for what goes into Sakai 11. Maybe this group plus Dr. Chuck. Or maybe one or two others, maybe Earl, kind of come up with a proposal, and then have a meeting with the Sakai core team to discuss, here's recommendations, and give them an opportunity to chime in. And of course, the Sakai core team would be, has a really big influence on what goes into the 11.
Yes, sounds great. I can prepare some mock-ups or some screenshots, something like that, mixing all along.
That would be great.
Yeah, even if we make a mail inside the list for everyone who wants to enter, something like that, it would be great.
Yeah, I think that's excellent. If you can have something that people can actually see what we're talking about. What we discussed this morning, it was that before doing that, at least letting these people, letting this group know that there was some intention and that somehow it was possible to do that for 11. And if this group agree, then do the work.
Yes, it sounds great.
Okay, let me put the steps into the Etherpad here then and write down, make sure I have this right. I keep walking away from my desk because the sun's too hot, and my little desk in my apartment's like right next to the windows. So let's see, where did that go? Hello, can you hear me? Okay. Sorry about that. I lost audio for a few seconds there. That happens to me many, many times. I don't know what's going on there. During a Big Blue Button meeting, almost every time I lose audio one time during a meeting. I don't know why that is. It's very frustrating. Okay, so let's put down. What's that? All right. So. One array mockups for Sakai 11. So we run that by. Do we want like a separate meeting, or just we could do it offline? Let's see.
Maybe even both. Yeah.
Provide both. Okay. Provide access to Sakai skin submissions more openly, and at least invite Sakai skin judges. Maybe not the most important, but there's overlap and they have some good ideas. So, and they were involved in the process of election. So, Sakai skin contest judges. Most importantly, the Sakai core team, and of course, very importantly, the Sakai Morpheus team, people who've been engaged in Morpheus. And so we'll get access to the submissions. Eduardo will do the mock-ups. We'll have an online discussion, and then a meeting to finalize a recommendation to the Sakai core team / PMC. They're a little bit different. The PMC and the Sakai core team are a little bit different. I can explain if you would like, but I think it's good to run it by both, and then make a decision for Sakai 11. Or Sakai 11. So something like that. And so, does that seem like about the right what we're talking about?
Yeah.
So let's think about dates for this. How long this is going to take? Just so we have target dates, if that's okay. Let's see. So today we're in November 11th. When should we have the next? So I guess ideally we would have a check-in next Morpheus team meeting, but it seems like it would be really, really good to get Dr. Chuck. To me, it seems like it would be really good to get Dr. Chuck involved. Because he was so engaged, through a lot of this process.
Yeah.
So, do we want to try and schedule a meeting for next week, maybe at a time that works better? See if Dr. Chuck has a time he would like to propose for next week. I think Mondays and Tuesdays are better for him generally than Wednesdays.
Okay. The only day I cannot is Thursday, but any else day.
Hi, Neil. How about we try, since Eduardo can't on Thursdays, and since Dr. Chuck proposed Tuesdays for the core team call, how about trying to do it after the core team call?
Sure.
That would be 11 a.m. Eastern next Tuesday.
Right. Let's see.
Not sure if he could make it, but I mean, as a proposal, that could be an option. Maybe we can drag some people from the core team call to stay. Ask them to stay afterwards, which might be easier than trying to bring them to a different call in a different day.
Right. Okay, I'll try that. I'll see if Dr. Chuck's available at 11 a.m. right after the core team, and then write a note to the core team and see if they would be, mind taking some extra time on Tuesday if they have availability. We'll try that as a first option. If we need to, we'll all do a doodle and pick a different time, but we are constrained, right? So it seems like for certain people a very, very tight schedule. So then the week after that is U.S. Thanksgiving, so we're really not going to get any action after that. So we can either wait until see how we do next week and then schedule a follow-up in a couple of weeks after that. So I think our most likely time to make a decision would be like the first week in December or the second week in December, which I think still should be fine. I think since we don't have code freeze yet, we should be in good shape. Okay, that sounds like a good plan. Let's see. Any other comments or thoughts on that? Or does that sound good to everybody?
Sounds good.
So, 11 a.m. Eastern. Tuesday. What's the date on Tuesday? November 17th? Wow. November 17th. There. Super. Okay. All right, well, let's move on then. We could check a Jira filter. I don't know if anyone's kind of monitoring new Jiras coming in with the Morpheus tag or not. Or we could talk about the tool by tool status next. We're going to talk about the tool by tool status, and then after that, we'll dig around in Jira and see if there's anything there we need to discuss.
Okay, it's gonna be pretty quick because there's nothing, not too much that has been going on around that since we last talked about it. For a couple of reasons.
This week been pretty rushed.
Yeah, with the Spanish Sakai, we didn't even have a time for actually trying to think about new tools to test. Actually, we were not getting too much response, so mainly everyone that was testing was from the SGU and a couple of people, like I think Laura from Notre Dame and someone else, but yeah, not too many people. Yeah, and I also had a couple of conversations with Dr. Chuck and Ian about this, and they told me that we should not worry about it because people is just busy trying to push everything that they can for Sakai 11, so that they say that it was okay to wait until the branch is cut and then trying to make a bigger effort around this QA testing. I think that we should keep on moving, not wait until 11 is cut, because a lot of things could be fixed right now. But anyway, so that's the status right now. Mainly is that nothing, not too much, not too many things has been going on. I wanted to ask Edu, because I haven't asked him or anyone that had a session on the virtual conference and was able to talk about this, if they got any response or interest, at least Edu from the Morpheus session. I don't know if anyone else was able to talk about this at the virtual conference. So Edu, did you get any questions or people that was interested in helping?
No, even while virtual conference, no.
No, okay.
Just the UCAM.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I included it as part of the Sakai 11 presentation. I didn't get a lot of questions. I think also the time frame, which I think is good, is like a 30-minute time frame, and the challenge of that is a very short time, but plus that helps keep things moving along. I don't remember if I don't think I got any questions about this. Of course, it was only part of the Sakai presentation, but it was a big part. As far as testing, I agree. I think we should keep moving along. My experience with testing is that you have to keep putting the word out, and sometimes write for individuals as well, and get interest. And sometimes have people say, "Oh, I'm going to help," and they don't get that for whatever reason. Maybe they get busy with local issues again. So right now we're doing, as you know, some of us are working on the Sakai 10.6 release, maybe, and also some testing on STEP, on the release, being able to do the exceptions to the release, and so maybe I'm great. I do get some more testers for that. So I'm thinking if we just kind of keep putting out the word on testing, maybe we can get some participation. I would love to reconstitute the Sakai QA group. I think we can need some thought to that, and at least giving some thought to that. In terms of by the Sakai QA group, I mean, a couple of people. It would be nice to get a couple of people to help with planning and working on regression scripts and doing outreach to the other testers involved, things like that. So it's being sporadic. But people do step up. So we did have a couple people step up to do JIRA testing for 10.6, and suddenly we had 20 issues or whatever it was that got tested, and I did have a couple of new people step up to do the testing for the STEP project. So people putting the word out there. Sometimes people do jump up, especially if they have local issues. I think so I'd say do it. We're doing it. Keep going. Thank you. I think keep pushing on the testing, and I agree. Now, does the changes that we're talking about for the ideas from the Sakai Skin Contest, is that going to affect the tool-by-tool testing at all?
It cool. The thing is that there are so many things to fix that, yeah, obviously any change that you do on the UI could affect, but there are some other things that are right now like margins and things like that has maybe not that much to do with design or where you put the stuff, or so it could affect. But I think that keep on identifying things won't hurt. You know what I mean? Like, and because Edu is the only person that is fixing stuff right now. Yeah, any information will be useful for him. This could affect. I think if one people were fixing one thing and another person was fixing another thing, and they were working in parallel. Somebody new designing, a new scheme for 11, but since it's just one person, I think that any information or any feedback that he gets is useful. So.
Okay.
So maybe we can think about trying to send an email next week, Monday, again with a new tool, maybe just with one tool, and see if we get any response. As you say, just keep on pushing, and if we get anything, that's better than nothing.
Of course.
I think that I wonder if we should include.
Neil, we hear you far, far away.
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds too far away in my cave. Oh, it sounds too far away. 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 Oh, it sounds too far aw Is this any better?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
better.
Okay. I was saying that yeah, we can keep. I think it's a good idea to keep pushing on the testing. And what was I also thinking? Something else. So we should definitely. One of the things I'm wondering about is whether we might want to present, do a presentation to the Sakai. Well, it's now the Apereo Teaching and Learning Group, but really it's still mostly Sakai people participating. And I wonder, since this type of testing does not require, really QA skills, I wonder if we want to try and do that, have a working session proposed to the Sakai user group. Hey, you want to have a working session to help test Morpheus?
I think that makes a lot of sense. How do you have the schedule for those sessions? I mean, I know you do like 30 minutes kind of thing.
Yes, you can do like a 30-minute kind of thing. So our agenda is we start with announcements that what's happening in the community, welcome and announcements, and then we do usually a JIRA of the week or some issue of the week that we put for about 5 minutes, and then we'll have a main topic, either a discussion or presenter for about 30 minutes or so, and then we do like a wrap up and plan for future meetings. And they are every Wednesday, just before this meeting at 10 a.m. Eastern. And I could put something out on the Sakai user list and find out if there's interest. I think there would be. They're a pretty open group in general. I think they're open to different ideas. I could kind of put something out there and see if people like that idea, and we could just schedule something. Right now, we tentatively have something scheduled for next week, but it's rather informal. So November 18th, we have nothing scheduled for November 25th because that's U.S. Thanksgiving break, so we're canceling the meeting. So the next meeting that's open right now is December 2nd. So what I could do is kind of get some feelers out there, and maybe if December 2nd works for you, we could do a joint presentation and actually show people how to do some testing. Like say, so if you were going to do testing, this is what you would do. You might go into Chrome, and then you bring up that little debug window. Here's how you bring that up with F12 plus whatever command key. And then you take a screenshot here, and then you could just send it to Neil. Or you could, if you know how to use Jira, then you can open a Jira and paste it and put it in and that sort of thing. We could show what those steps look like.
Okay.
So I'll put that I'll put it tentatively on the schedule for, and then I'll confirm. So I'll put tentatively for December 2nd, Morpheus tool testing demo. So let's see. All right, cool. Oops, that goes back to that. This will go back to the ad here. All right. Anything else? Hold on just a second. My door, I'm getting a knock on my door. Sorry. All right. So, all right. Let's see. Joys of working at home. So you want to do a Jira filter? You want to take a look at Jira, or do you know if you've been following Jira? Is there anything to discuss on the Jira, or not? Do you know offhand, or to take a look?
I don't know about that.
Let's see. Am I still sharing my screen? I guess I am sharing my screen. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Let's take a quick look here. Oh, we had a label, right? Did we have a label for review on this? I forget. So let's take a look at the things that have been open in the last few weeks. So there's been 20 issues open in the last several weeks. It looks like a lot of them are related to the testing, maybe. Morpheus review 30010, 30011, 30010, 30010. What's this 2629367? Morpheus improvements, okay. So do any of these issues look like issues we want to review? Morpheus review preferences. Oh, what's that? Oh, it's reviewing the preferences area. Okay, gotcha. Right. So a lot of these look like they're test results. Insert original text links. So here's one that was opened recently. Oh, Wilma had to drop off. Bye, Wilma. I guess I missed her.
Bye, Wilma.
She was gone like 20 minutes ago. Oops. Let's see. Thank you. Bye. So any comments? Is this useful to look at the issues, or is it, I mean, what's the best way for, what's most helpful for you? Is it useful to, look at newly opened issues in the last few weeks? Is it, or you just have so much to do in the queue that it doesn't make sense to really worry about it right now?
Sorry, I was watching the last one you have put the link.
Okay.
Because it is JavaScript, and I don't know how that is done in forums, but it is because there is not more iframes.
Ah, it's because there's no more iframes.
Yeah, so I take a look. I don't know how it is. Okay. Bookmarks. And I'll take a look. Okay.
Okay, cool, thanks. I was just asking in general, is it helpful
Yeah,
to do?
I've been watching usually the Jiras with from the 2x2 QA. This with forums, I didn't watch it. So great. If we if we take a look, it's good to me.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I just want to do whatever is useful for you, right? Let's see. So here's another one. It looks like Laura Sierra. Oh, page. So this looks like from the tool testing, but you didn't. You just didn't link it, right? This is from the tool by tool.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Laura sent me an email with those Jiras.
Okay. Cool. That's really cool.
Faster.
My workspace profile. So this must be also tool by tool testing.
My display.
So tool by tool.
Yes, this is tool by tool.
Cool. Long site title is always. Oh, this is one you reported, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. One hope. Always displayed in short version.
Yeah. Juanjo Meroño sent to me.
Okay. So it looks like we have 59 issues total that haven't been resolved yet. So that's quite a lot. You know, it's funny, Uday, I wrote to him offline, and he said he still wants to be involved. So I'm going to follow up with him and find out if he's still available. Like, what would we want Uday to help with? If he has a little bit of time to help, where could we ask him to put the time the best use? You know, if he's willing to put in 30 minutes here, an hour there, a little bit here and there.
Okay.
Yeah, but where do you think that he could help?
Great.
In which area? Like reporting?
No, in the area he can.
Any area he can?
I mean, if he has just 1 or 2 hours, the things they can do, he can do.
Maybe he can do some tool by tool testing if he only has
sure.
a few hours.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Cool,
if he has more time to fix things,
as long as he have done pretty SAS code, so if he can help with the SAS 2, it would be great in the 2x2.
If he can help with the SAS?
Yeah.
Okay. Like some of the fixes? Okay, well, I'll ask him. And see. I was, last, if you remember, he was here in the last meeting, and so afterwards I got, I sent him a quick email and said, you think you actually will have some time to help? And it sounds like he might, so it's worth asking. Let's see. Are there any of these issues that we want to go? It would be helpful for us to go over. So these are just a complete list of issues that are not resolved yet. I'm not sure if this one is going to get in. So this one, the new question type image map.
Sound 1, 2, 6, 3.
Yeah, there may have been I'm not sure if it was a miscommunication or what, but I don't know if this is really going to make it into 11 or not, because the original idea with this one is it's a really neat question type. It's a really cool question type image map. But my understanding is from some members of the community that they think that it won't get into 11 unless somebody develops support for an image map question to be exported. Right now, this question is not supported when we export or import questions, and I think that may be the main thing holding it up.
Yeah, I think this is not Morpheus.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's Morpheus either, right? I'm not sure why it would have a Morpheus label there. So maybe we just take the Morpheus.
I think this is deep on Samigos code.
Yeah, deep on Samigo, yeah, or Samigo, however you pronounce it. Yeah, I took the Morpheus label off that one. Okay. Let's see.
Oh.
Gentlemen's. Simon's tool. Okay, so have you seen this one before?
I think not. 09. Poster. Oh yeah.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
I remember. Yes, we need to put the feature on again.
Oh, okay.
To collapse tool menu. Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna open it up.
Me to a second myself. I never remember my username.
Do you want me to tell you? I can find it.
I think it's Eduardo Rey, but I don't remember.
Let's see. I'll tell you. Let's see. Is it maybe this one?
Yeah. Thank you.
And that seems right because the last time you were on was there.
Wow. So I think I don't remember my password. I'm going to reset.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
No problem. It's on bookmarks, so I won't forget.
I have a little password manager I use, so I don't have to remember my passwords.
I need to use one of these.
Yeah, I think they're great. And they usually have like little plugins for your, for your browser, so I can use it in any of my browsers. So when you're xlog and missing title tag, why is this have a Morpheus? I wonder why this is labeled Morpheus.
Nog een titeltag.
This just looks like accessibility. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't really look like Morpheus. It's portal and accessibility, I think.
Erasing markers. Login using title tag. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if the title is hidden by the logo. No, there is no title at all. So yeah, it would be from Portal. So it's Morpheus 2. Yeah.
So it's not Morpheus?
Yes, yeah, it is Morpheus.
Okay. All right. Okay, cool. Well, I see it's about noon, so I don't know if you want to, would you like to adjourn the meeting, or are there any other issues you want to review?
No.
I had to leave in a minute.
To leave? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
why don't we go ahead and adjourn the meeting then, and we will possibly, I'll ping Dr. Chuck first about the Tuesday meeting and see what he says, and then if he
Okay,
can do it,
perfect.
go from there. Okay, cool. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.